Okay, it's June, are you ready?
You're on.
Okay, it's June 13th. I'm going to call the Selectmen's meeting to order. The first order of business is to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Any public input?
I have none.
Okay. We're going to do the first thing we're going to do, which isn't on our agenda, is the public hearing. So the town of Tuftonboro public hearing. The Tuftonboro Board of Selectmen and Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Monday, June 13th at 9 a.m. at town offices, 240 Middle Road, Tuftonboro, New Hampshire. The purpose of this hearing is to provide an opportunity for the public to comment on use of the Tuftonboro Conservation Fund to acquire tax map lot 52-127 for the purpose of conservation. Do you want to make a brief comment?
So what we're trying to do, our attempt is to preserve that lot, which is the last lot left that is along the stream that goes from Mirror Lake into Lake Winnipesaukee. And we want to use that to make sure that that stays free and running. We have four-legged little friends that like to build dams across that little stretch of water, which tends to raise the level of Mirror Lake. And we feel that creates two potential problems. One is cyanobacteria, because the lake level raises higher, it pulls phosphorus off the land that hasn't been underwater before, so it increases the phosphorus for the cyanobacteria to feed on. And the second reason is Lang Pond Road. It raises the level of the lake so that it comes up very close to the level of the road that we had just finished fixing, and we're afraid that that's going to undermine the road. So by preserving, that's the last piece that we can preserve to give the town access to that piece of water.
Okay. Anything from you, Robert?
Yeah, this is what you presented to us a few weeks ago.
Yes, it is, Robert.
Yeah, so this piece of land has no commercial value. It's non-buildable,
It's non-buildable, that's correct.
and it's purely for the benefit of the town and the people surrounding Mirror Lake.
It truly is, yes. Yeah.
And how much money are you going to spend out of your conservation fund?
$5,000 is what we negotiated as a sales price for that particular parcel of land. We have a tentative commitment from the Mirror Lake Protection Association to donate $2,000 towards the purchase of that land.
So you're going to use 3,000, or are you going to use the 2,000 for things like title research and
Yeah.
deeds and all of the rest of it? So you're running in the negative on your legal line.
So we'll probably use it for that, the legal expenses.
Okay. Cool. Did we vote? I don't remember, Ken. Did we vote on
Yes.
this? We did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the Board of Selectmen had already voted in the affirmative. Seeing no other public, I guess we've accomplished our public hearing. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, have a great day.
You
Number
too.
2. Next order of business is the review and
Good.
approval of minutes. First minutes are Monday, June 6th, 9 a.m., the public minutes.
I move to approve the minutes as written.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Second is the sealed minutes of June 6th at 6:41 p.m. Well, let's do 6:20 p.m. first. We'll do it in order.
I move to approve approve the minutes and that they remain sealed.
Okay, we're gonna vote twice. So I'll second your approval of the minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll move that the minutes remain sealed.
And I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the second set of non-public minutes for June 6th at 6:41.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And
I'm not inclined to keep these sealed.
neither am I.
Okay, so these minutes will be unsealed. I'll make a motion that we unseal the minutes.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Is that the reputation one or the personal?
That's the
6:41 PM.
6:41,
Oh.
this one right here,
Perfect.
the little one.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, well, we've done the public hearing. Next order of business is our code enforcement officer.
Morning.
Morning.
So as of date, we have 69 building permits, 21 new homes, have done 250 inspections. If you notice, the truck's down to Ed's.
Yeah,
It needs a fuel pump module, which he gets, but what happens is it has to be totally reprogrammed. So he is a third-party person he goes through, because if not, it has to go to the dealership, and it means it has to be towed.
right.
So
So he thinks he can
he's
get it
waiting.
all done there? That is
Yeah,
correct?
he has a third party that he can go through with his computer, and they have the codes through the dealership, so they can reprogram the truck. If he puts just the part in, it won't start. So,
So when you say 21 new, how does that compare to last year?
as of today, it's 5 more than last year
Okay.
for houses. Building permits are about the same, inspections, I'm about 30 more this year,
Okay.
as of today.
So how many miles on your pickup?
36, 37,000.
Oh, so it's not that much.
No, to 2018, it's just, they're too computerized.
Yeah.
Can't even fix them, you know?
Out of warranty.
Oh yeah, 36, 3 years, yeah. So,
Anything, I saw a letter about junk cars. Has that been sent out?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And do we have any other infractions going on?
I have a couple more junkyards. Junky car guys, put it that way, they're
Yeah.
not dealing, but
It seems the boat guy on Ledge Hill Road's pretty active. Is that
he's
still
not
in
there.
compliance?
He doesn't live there anymore.
Oh,
There's
so it's a
separate-
new boat guy. How many boat guys are in the world?
The same house?
Yeah.
No, that's just his own junk in the yard. He's not
Okay.
living there, they got separated, so.
Okay. Well, we're not marriage counselors.
It is what it is, so that's his own stuff, so.
Okay, and yeah, I think that's,
And
That's
Bob
it.
Strauss, Dave Straw rather, is picking away at his stuff.
Yeah, I've seen
He's-
that.
He's
It's-
not very healthy,
it's slow, but it's steady.
yeah. 1 or 2 here and there, and a truckload of stuff gets out, so you can't, you know.
So we had
He
a,
got COVID twice, I mean, he's not healthy, so,
once wasn't enough.
yeah.
So we had a fella in looking to build up on Sandy Knoll Road. Has he been talking to you?
Must have been Mark Weimer. Yeah,
Could've been.
yeah, he has a couple of times, yeah, so he has to do the release, because it's a class 6 road,
Right,
so he has to do that, and he's gonna totally off the grid with solar panels and all that, so.
right.
It's, I mean, it's up to you to sign the release, you know.
Right, we haven't seen the release come through.
Yeah, he hasn't filled it out yet, so I haven't done it. I told him he
Okay.
had to do it, so what
Yeah.
happens, I have to fill it out, you sign it, he has to bring it, it has to go
Okay.
to the registry, has to be recorded, it comes back, so
Yeah.
it stays with the property.
Anything else for Jack?
And all these units in here were cleaned last
It looks very clean.
Thursday, all the
Yeah.
mini split heads and all that, they're all really clean except for the police. And the reason for the police is they run it a lot,
Yeah.
and they never open a window, so it's
Yeah.
the same air 24/7, so.
Yeah.
I wonder why they're always sick.
You might wanna, I don't know, put a
Right.
heat exchange.
And do we have any other major,
Something to change the air or something in there.
yeah, it needs an air exchanger involved.
Yeah.
Do we have any other projects that were on warrant?
I just have the front walkway to do.
Right.
And Matt Rollins gave me a price on that, so he's gonna do that.
Okay.
That was about it.
How's the pellet boiler at the townhouse doing?
It's okay now since we finally got someone that actually fixed it, because the company who installed it originally, they had those grants and they were just pumping them out. And they come from the factory right-hand feed, it was swapped to left-hand feed, but they didn't swap everything that needed to be swapped to go to left-hand feed, so we have all kinds of issues, and finally it's pretty much straightened out after quite a few years.
Who maintains it now? I
I
know you go up there and empty the ash bin. and
do the
whatnot.
asking and all that. It's coming in a bowl, or Hollis or something. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
No worries.
But they do a good job. They're recommended by the energy system, so just tell them.
Okay. Great. Thanks for your
Okay.
efforts. Highway,
Good morning.
Morning.
come on down.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you want one of these for Guy too? I have an extra.
Yeah, why don't we throw it in this file?
Thanks.
Okay. Since the last time we met, some of the projects that we have been working on. The line striping has been completed for the road. Unfortunately, that did come in over budget. I guess I don't have it on my new on my budget, but I think that was like $1,500 more than we budgeted for. But we guessed at it last fall when we did the budgeting in September.
Yeah.
We just had to take a guess, and we were off by about $1,500. And also, most of the roads have been graded. We just had 2 left, the dirt roads.
Finished gravestone.
No, that's one. Phineas Graves and Willand is the 2 that we need to do.
You still working on Phoenix graves?
There's still a little bit left to do. Yep, we're trying to get the drainage a little bit better. It makes it easier for grading too. Most of the culvert sumps on Ledge Hill have been excavated out, all the bad ones have.
Got some washout in a bunch of them, a couple of them that I know of.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you need to put some bulkheads in or do something.
so, you know, it's funny, you can put gravel in and it lasts for a couple of years and all of a sudden, one rainstorm, it takes it out and it's a different spot every time and it's hard to, you know, it's just part of me, it's what it is. Also, we have marked and measured and cut pavement on problem areas that need to be repaved. And I've got a quote on the back here for 5 areas on 5 different roads that need to be repaved. A lot of it has to do with problems with the edge and the plow is scraping the pavement off. It's too thin or whatnot, just worn out. We have Harvest Lane. That one actually has been done before. I remember doing that. We had a washout probably 8-9 years ago, and it was paved then. But somehow, because I think we cut it and they paved it, that got loose in there and it came back out. So that needs to be redone. We have Pine Mill Lane, that one actually.
That's pretty close to 1 lane repave. 153 feet at 5 feet and 25 feet at 7 feet.
Yeah.
Pine Mill Lane isn't that long, is it?
It's not super long, but when you get there and you see it, it's nowhere near like even a quarter of the road or anything like that. But the wing plow has just broken it up. And that whole road is in bad shape, we know that, but I think if we don't fix it, it's gonna continue to just keep eating away at the edge and becoming worse and worse. So I think it's money that needs to be spent
So
on
when we
it.
get to the reconstruction, because Pine Mill Lane's gonna fall into that neighborhood roads program.
Is that Pine Mill Drive?
Yes, Pine Mill Drive, correct, sir.
What sort of design change can we make so that we don't have to do this? when we do that road?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the base on it's not the best,
Okay.
and we have rocks popping up everywhere. That was one of the roads we drove last fall, and we did get a price on repaving that. That is one of them that you guys requested a price on.
Right.
So we do have a, not that the price is any good anymore, but. You know.
But it's, I mean,
You have an idea now.
Yeah, we do. We probably just need to add 25% to it.
repaving isn't gonna solve the problem, and you're gonna need to reconstruct. By the sounds
Absolutely.
of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
Okay.
that's the biggest thing. It's, I don't think it was done 100% correctly at the time.
Kind of like Harvest Road,
Harvest Lane.
or Harvest Lane. Right.
Yep. And then we have a patch on Tuptenboro Neck. One on Hurlburt, right on the corner of Cross Neck. That one got plowed up in the short corner. I think a lot of that can probably be, the problem will be the drainage. I think it just ponds so much water there that it makes the pavement soft and
Yeah.
breaks up. So those are the areas that I was thinking that need to be done. Not that
There's
that-
two more on the neck road.
Two
I
more?
drive it quite often.
There's probably at least that. I know when you first pull in, we have what's sinking in the left, as you're pulling in the right side,
Pull into where?
Tuptenboro Neck.
Okay.
That is, a problem for sure. It's sinking down quite a bit in the lane. If we had the money
Past
to
the
do
window
it,
blow on the right, there's another spot that's pretty bad.
yeah,
So,
we've had a few spots.
so is there a catch basin in there? I thought is it on the right as you're,
When you first pull in,
yeah.
there is. It's at the entranceway.
Right.
Yep. I don't think that's the problem as much as,
Yeah, I'm just wondering why it's collapsing. Is there something under there? Is there culvert under there, or what is going on?
no, it's, I'm guessing poor material. Yeah.
It's a pretty heavily traveled road, especially.
Yeah, a lot of people on there.
A lot of construction.
A lot of
Yeah.
construction. It's-
Yeah.
Yep.
You've got a crane that lives up there now.
Yep. I think dump trucks every day, all
Dump
day.
trucks every day, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. The whole road needs to be redone. And I brought that to your attention this spring saying, wow, that thing has taken a beating and
And you've already started doing the tree removals.
correct.
How much more of that needs to get done?
Some of the stumps need to be, or the stubs, I'm gonna call them stubs because they were
Yeah.
left, like 15, 20 feet tall. Those need to come down and then those stumps need to be ground out. And that will help a lot with drainage too, in a lot of areas. We couldn't do drainage because the trees are completely
Right, you
laid.
can't do a good reconstruction with the trees there either,
Correct.
so,
Yep. I'm hoping that we can do something with it for next year,
yeah.
a complete,
Well, we've got a
Mhm.
grant application going on for a number of roads, one of which I think is the Tupper Neck Road, and one of which is Ledge Hill Road. Those are big items. So there are, maybe there'll be an additional fund of money or tranche of money that will come through that will help us out. Yeah, because I think rebuilding that whole road is gonna cost us,
we got an estimate on it, yeah, it was
Yeah.
quite large.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate repairing and then, having it wear out that quickly. But we also have the bridge to consider. It would be nice to get the whole damn thing done at once as opposed to rebuilding the road and then tearing it apart to put a new bridge in. So,
Yep. I agree, but we are gonna have to do something sooner than later, even if it's do the back half or something like that. You
Right.
know, at least do part of it, I think,
right, all right. Next,
Well, so, since we don't have a budget line for this GSM paving,
that's this sheet here.
yes,
Right.
so I was wondering if we could take that out of apron paving, because I think this is more important than the apron paving at the moment. I know we've set aside $12,500 for apron paving, and we had talked about there's a couple areas, but one of them that was in mind was
When
Purvis
is
Road.
this, when is GSM gonna be prepared to do this?
So I've got him on the schedule already for next week.
Okay,
I mean, I can cancel them easier than I can get them to come back, so that's why I thought I'd bring this to your attention. And I just want to make sure that you're okay, that we take the funds.
well, I think, and we can talk about it if you want, I'm okay with them doing the work. I'm not certain that I'm ready to cancel out apron paving just to get this work done.
If there's a place to take it from, great.
Yeah, we've got other sources of money, but there's only two of us here today, so I'd
Okay.
rather not argue that just between Bob and I, because Bob and I will probably agree on something. Forget all about Guy.
Okay, yep,
So
that's fair enough.
I think, I mean, so just to be clear, we had $125,000 sitting in a pot. We used some of it to fix his shop. We need to retain about 23,000 of it, or 24,000 of it for the 19-mile pier. So we still have a significant
Well,
pile there.
don't forget that the paving is going to come in well over budget. It's
Right.
going
We're
up.
getting another
Yeah.
$125,000. I think it's in July, same source. So this is money that's technically off budget, but it's for infrastructure work. That's what it came in at for, if you will. It doesn't look as though, we're gonna have to have that discussion in the next couple of weeks, but it doesn't look as though we're gonna break ground on the police station this year. So, and the money isn't going back to anybody, it's gonna stay right with us. But I think we need to use it to, if we're not gonna do the police station work, let's get a bunch of this other stuff done within reason.
Well, if,
But we can get what I was, just to end it, we can get an accounting on what we've got, what's coming in, and what we've spent. And then we have, I think, a more informed discussion next week about whether we take money out of there or we split it between.
Guy's not here next week either.
What's that?
Guy's not here in the next meeting either.
All right, then we're gonna do it.
we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the concept. I'd like to see the numbers laid out,
Right.
like you said, but I'm okay with the concept. If this money is for infrastructure improvements, and we've got a couple things that are popping up that are exceeding our budget, I think this is a perfect use for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it'll get us through this new program that was set up with 2 types of paving. That'll help. So yeah, I'd say, I think we're in agreement that just go ahead and get it done and we'll figure out where we're gonna take the money.
Okay, in that case, how do you feel about fixing the 2 other spots on Top to Burnack that I don't have a price on, just because I knew this was going to exceed the apron paving
Wow.
budget?
Before you talk about that, can we talk about Shirley Way?
We can.
I saw that estimate,
Okay, yep.
and that estimate came in over budget.
I think we're going to find everything's coming in over budget.
But we're already committing to Shirley Way. That's kind of taking the top of the list right now.
Yeah, and you've already started it.
We have. I don't think there's turning around at this point.
Right.
We've torn it up.
So I think we need to talk about that before we talk about other things.
Okay. So where we're at, I have an idea, I guess, of what's going on with the. I don't have an up-to-date price because it changes weekly. But I can tell you what's going on. I have an up-to-date, I just printed this off this morning. This is off the website. And I think this is what everybody is the standard for New Hampshire. And right now, the base price of asphalt for New Hampshire is $735 a liquid ton. So last year, when we got this original pricing, asphalt liquid ton was $5.62 for the whole month of September. So that being said, you know, it's gone up.
$730?
It went from 735, from $562.
Okay.
$562. I heard $5.60.
Oh, I did, sorry. So, yeah, it's gone up
$113.
$172.50.
More than that. My math is off, but yeah.
So, I've been following this a little bit, and
How many tons do we need for that Shirley Way job?
so it doesn't go by liquid ton, because liquid ton is roughly 6% used in the mix.
Okay.
But it does increase the budget, and this is,
But that's driving up your yardage price.
correct. It's every Monday, these paving companies have to look at this index, and this is how they're basing their prices off from. So it's going up. It appears to be like every Monday, it's going up.
So what was it this Monday?
$735.
That's a liquid, that's only 6% of your mix.
Correct.
What is a ton of gravel or a
Oh.
cubic yard of gravel or whatever it is?
So I don't have a number on that yet, and I don't know how he's gonna price that. That obviously adds to the asphalt cost, but then you also have, we're paying $6, over $6 a gallon for diesel, and they're trucking back and forth, and all this equipment runs on diesel. It's very expensive at this point. It's doubled since last year, our cost of diesel. And then you have the cost of materials for gravel has gone up significantly. It's just, I don't know what he's gonna do. But we do have the numbers from last time we met.
Mhm.
But I think they've gone up, because last time we met, it's gone up, just the cost of liquid has gone up $32.50 a ton. So it's gone up. So these numbers aren't really accurate.
I'm not opposed to doing any of these things that you're talking about, but I think we need to kind of slow down and think about them and work on them one at a time, because everything is so much in flux. Unless you can do two at a time. If we've got things that are coming in over budget, we have to tap these extra funds that we have. We don't know what we're spending yet.
So what was the original price that they gave you for this Shirley Way?
Do you want to go for the original or the latest that we had?
The latest.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, I think that's actually maybe right here. Corners. Here it is. Nope, this one doesn't have Shirley Way on it either, does it? Well, I recall it being 135. You guys have that same copy.
I had it in another, I didn't bring it with me this week. I had it in another
Is
week.
it the May 5th
135.
one?
Does it say 135,000 or 130?
130, 356.60.
Okay,
130?
so I believe that was May 5th.
Call it
that we got that
135.
one.
Well, it's only 130.
Yeah, but I believe it was 135 the last time I talked to him.
I remember seeing 135 number.
I think I sent you guys an update, or I actually gave it to you, and I'm thinking you sent it out the last update. So it was 135. I want to say that was 2 weeks ago.
So some of this price increase, the 735 to 562, 562 to 735 has already been accommodated. Because this estimate here was on the 5th of May. It's now the 13th of June. I mean, it's been just a little over a month. This change is 24%. I'm not gonna add 24% to a number that we got in May, because I don't think it's gone up 24% since May.
No, certainly not.
I mean, I know it's gone up since last December.
They are working with us, I will say that. He's like, we're gonna do the best we can, we're not trying to
Right.
overdo it. We wanna make sure we cover our bases with the liquid asphalt. But they're not raising the price to put it down or any of that stuff. It's just trying to cover their costs, that's all they're trying to do. But it did go up, I believe, $5,000, on that one road in that month.
What was 5,000, I'm sorry?
Well, it went from 130 to 135, I believe. We, you know,
Yeah, okay, so it's, 5%. I can live with.
it was, I think it went up 2.4%, if I remember
Or
correctly,
2.4%.
is the total cost that went up.
That's a livable figure. I mean, going up to 160,000 is not gonna work.
Correct.
135 is bad enough.
Mhm.
But as Bob said, we need to concentrate on getting that done.
And then see what's left before we start thinking about other things.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're still good with the patching that he should do.
All of it, or just what I have?
13.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if there's money at the end, we can talk about getting a quote for that.
Well, maybe we do some in the fall when we've played this thing out a little more, because you've got some other jobs you gotta finish up as well.
Yep.
So, we'll see how those play out.
But
Correct.
I think he's trying to schedule paving, because the paving company's gonna be scheduled through the end of the year, soon if they're not already scheduled. So you're trying to get ahead of that and trying to get the work lined up.
Fortunate to get in. I mean, I had to press pretty hard to get in before July, and the longer we wait, the faster it's going up, you know? I'm like, I wanted to be in the 1st of July.
Yeah.
1st of June was my
And the
goal.
major road paving jobs that we had, I think we had, I forget what it was, North Line Road, maybe?
Yeah, we have, so for those roads, we have, North Line, Federal Corners, a section of Canaan, and Shirley Way.
Okay, forget about Shirley Way, we already talked about
Okay,
that. That's
yep.
coming out of a different budget. So on those other roads, how are we making out?
They're going up about 2.4% too.
Okay, and those are scheduled to be done?
So, yes, actually, I have that here. So for Shirley Way, they have us scheduled for the 23rd to do the reclaim. They usually pave shortly after that. And then for Federal Corners Road, they're gonna do the reclaim on the 27th is when we're scheduled. Obviously, weather can change this once you get.
Right.
Of June?
Of June, this month,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay, and then we had Canaan? When they-
So-
scheduled?
Those are the, that's
Sorry.
almost like a different company that comes in, that does the reclaim now.
Okay.
Busby Construction does that. But they usually follow, the pavers come in and follow behind them usually within a few days. So the way they said it was they would do the 2 reclaim areas first, then they would probably do, when they do Federal Corners, they'll do North Line since they're right there, they'll continue around the corner. And then they would do Canaan, and then we have our shop to do after that.
Okay.
How deep do they go when they're reclaiming? Is it just the surface couple inches, or do they go down a foot
They
or
can
so?
go down a foot. They don't always, you kind of almost have to watch them and ask them to go down a little deeper.
Right, and we're gonna do that, right?
Correct, yep. Yeah, and sometimes if I see a spot that I don't like, I add stone. I'll be like, can you back up? And then we dump a load of stone
But
and grind it right in.
Right, but if you go down a foot, you get a good chance of getting the nuggets.
Correct, yep. That's the whole point of why we're doing this, is to get those nuggets. Yep.
All right.
But if we see wet dirt come up, I'd like to add stone to it or whatever we need to do to fix it.
Okay. So our paving should be spent by the end of July, I would think.
Yep.
And we'll be done with that.
My goal, and I don't know if it'll happen, but I tried to explain to him how this place changes during the week of 4th of July.
Yeah.
And like, we gotta get it done before that, so he said he's gonna take care of us, but that's gonna be close.
Yeah. Well, if we can get the Tuftonboro Neck piece done, that helps. The other
Correct, yeah.
back roads aren't quite as,
Well, you know, it's funny, you don't think that, but wait till you see all the bicycles and stuff that come out of the camps, out of the summer camps on
right.
Mary Vista and all those, you know.
All right, and you've got your shop all ready to pave?
We don't, we're starting on that today. I don't like to tear up the pavement too early on these things. because then we're babysitting them every time it rains and get potholes and stuff like that, so. But we're starting on it today. That'll be the last one that gets done.
All your drainage repairs are done?
Drainage repairs are done. We just gotta basically rip the pavement down. I'd like to pull up all the dirt that's down the first 4 feet and separate what shouldn't go and what should go back. And then we'll grade it. That's the biggest thing, is we gotta grade it, and then we'll top it with some nice gravel. Get the right pitch down, so it pitches away from the building. Currently, it doesn't do that. And we're gonna put some crushed stone down in front of the building as well. And we're gonna have like a French drain that goes over to the catch basin.
Yeah.
So any water that gets down in front of the building will hopefully be caught by that and go right over to the catch basin.
And Willand Road, are we doing anything up there?
We haven't started on that yet. This is, right now we're about pavement,
Okay.
paving time.
We're gonna be having a meeting, I think, at some point in time with Bergeron Engineering. Is it Bergeron, or is it Bergeron that owns it? Not the
Yeah,
grants.
Bergeron Engineering out
Yeah.
of Conway.
Right. So these grants applications went out, and we're gonna have some sort of notification, I think, by the 1st of July. And then we'll have to have you come in, and they'll come in, and we'll get more involved. There's, I forget what it was, something like $500 million, some amazing amount of money that the governor's gonna act on in the next few days.
We only need half that.
We don't even need that. But I think part of, and they've been in discussions with Shaheen's office. Part of it is having shovel-ready jobs. And we've got a number of shovel-ready jobs, we can probably put some more together.
I did talk to Chris from Bergeron about some of the projects and some of my ideas as well.
Okay, so we'll coordinate that in the next couple of weeks.
Hi. Do we need a motion on this $13,000?
I have no idea.
Not really, well, make a motion, I'll vote on it. It's not fair that we do this, because we're gonna actually vote on this money next week.
Okay.
So we're not really voting on, we're voting on approving it, but we're not voting on paying for it. So my thought was to vote on the money, but I'll gladly entertain a motion.
Do you need us to make a decision this week? Do you need us to?
I need to, I thought we already had a position, but it was a go to move on. I think it's where we pull the money from is, what you guys need to just make the decision on.
Then we'll do it next week.
Okay, thanks.
We good?
Yep, I think we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Parks and Rec. Dennis Salondo, the one and the only.
You shot today, are you?
Yeah, we're down there.
Just the through May, the budget. It's not showing which we have to pay, both Zach Tuck's for his work and also the parts on the docks. I can't believe the price on some of them, but it's probably about $900. Some of the stuff I'm bringing back today to get hopefully back on my credit. But, you know, they're out and they're done and they're done right, so.
Do you have revenue somewhere?
No.
Show revenue somewhere?
No, the only revenue I get into it is basically, we had more sponsors for the concerts, so.
Yeah.
And swim lessons too, so. The other thing on the budget's not shown is, you know, we already put deposits down on old home days tents and stuff like that, cotton candy machines, things like that. The only other thing on the budget, I did call our porta potty princess and tried to get a sponsor both either for concerts or even a donation of a portalet for the ponds in the park, which is a week from Saturday. And she said no, her budget for fishing trips and everything else, so she turned us down. And I just said, it's funny, I'm talking to you because I just met with Kathy, and for the last 3-4 years, you're gonna have $5, you're gonna have $5, you're gonna have $10. So now we just got the contract, now it's up to $35. So I questioned her on that. She said, you gotta understand that we give you $25 less than anybody else to the town of Tuftonville. So Kathy and I looked into it, and she's right. So we're stuck with it. Not the easiest person to deal with. But anyway, maintenance-wise, all the boundary lines are in, the swim rafts are in, the lines for swim lanes are in. John has, we got a curveball thrown at us. The benches we bought, we had to put together, and he did that.
Is the 20-mile bay line in?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly that with all the doctors. So, end of the season, the doctors are gonna clean them, we're gonna store them up at the transfer station thing. So, they're happy about that. We did put a new grill over at Central Park. I just got a, it's funny, Steve, is it Scapaccio? How does it?
Scapiccio.
Scapiccio. I'm Italian, I think I should say that.
The time?
Well, half, the bottom half.
Yeah.
Top half is Irish. It's a good mix, they say, Irish and Italian. Anyway, Laurel, from
You can hold your beer and your wine.
yeah. From the Laurel Poston, she's of course on the commission and for the conservation, but she sent me a note saying, thanks for bringing up the signage on your next meeting today. Apparently, the motorized vehicles, she's talking here on the trails, are making ruts and everything else. So coincidentally, Steve just stopped in 20 minutes ago. He says, can you bring it up to the selectmen and get their blessing? If we do, he'll order the signs and he'll put them up. So is that a good to go?
This is for no motorized vehicles?
Yeah. You know, she's saying basically in 3 different areas, so.
And they are.
You know what?
What are those 3 areas?
Let me see. Maybe it's a sign at each intersection of the red and blue trail and one more towards the entrance, but up on the trail. They just need to be visible inside the trail system so whoever's coming from private property sees them. I very much doubt they're coming from the field next to the fire department, so there's no way to see that one sign. Thank you so much.
Is this gonna eliminate snowmobiles? People ride snowmobiles on these trails?
I think Steve seemed to think no. He says he snowshoes up there. He says he's never seen snowmobiles.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go,
Yeah,
because the trails go.
but the motorized bikes, I think, is the issue, so. He said,
And now we got a problem with policing. And what, you can notify people that they're not supposed to drive motorized vehicles there, but is there gonna be consequence if they do?
you tell me. I mean, you're gonna catch him?
I don't know, I mean, I don't know what the plan is.
Yeah, the plan is, I think, is at least if you got signs, it's something.
But if you or somebody else is up there and sees somebody on a motorized vehicle,
Yeah.
takes a picture, we know who they are,
Yeah.
what do you do with it? Can you give it to the chief? Is the chief
I don't know.
obligated
Tell
to
me.
enforce it?
Well, we don't
Try.
have, I'm sorry, Chief, go ahead.
Yeah, we can try. I have to, I mean, they do it all the time on trails. If you're an OHRV, you have to have written landowner permission to be on it. So, I mean, that's an offense right there. And clearly, if it's signed, they're not permitted to be there, so we can address it.
I don't think it's uncommon to have no motorized vehicles on trails like this. You see it all the time.
Yeah. So I'll have your blessing to call Steve and say, yes, order the signs and put them up.
No, we'll have a public hearing, let's schedule a public hearing. Say that we're gonna ban public or powered vehicles from Central Park. See if anybody shows up, if nobody shows up, then at least we put everybody on notice that we're about to act. I have a problem personally of enacting regulations without any public input other than yours.
Okay.
What do we usually have, 2 weeks for a public hearing?
Yeah, I need 10 days,
10 days?
You gotta post it.
Yeah, we'll post it, make it happen.
so I can probably get it in for the 27th, meeting, because we don't have a meeting next week.
Jeez, we're like part-time, aren't we? Okay, yeah, the 27th would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, I just tell Steve that we're gonna have a public hearing on the 27th, barring any dramatic outbursts from the public. We'll probably do that.
He said no wheeled vehicles, and you said no motorized vehicles, so we need to.
They're not letting mountain bikes up in there either?
No, you said no motorized vehicles, he said no wheeled vehicles.
Although we gotta get this.
Oh, I thought he said no motorized.
No, motorized.
Okay, okay. That's
What about electric?
what I'm getting at, is there is a difference between the two.
You said motorized.
Electric's motorized.
Yeah.
Is there electric?
But is the disturbance the ruts or the noise?
No, there's
Well-
electric bikes.
Electric bikes.
Oh, yeah. They have electric motorcycles now, electric dirt bikes, everything's going electric.
Good.
It's insane.
Love it.
It is.
At any rate, let's have the public hearing. You can come.
Okay. I could have some, but yeah, I could understand why the dirt bikes would be annoying back there.
Yeah. Well, but we also have a member who's married to that particular culture, so we
That's
need to have
tough.
him.
That's a conflict.
We need to have him included in the debate.
Not me. I know he pointed at me.
I was pointing
He owns KTM and
He's a
Yamaha.
patient guy.
We got you.
All right.
Yeah. Should I continue? Are we done with the
Sure, no,
design?
go ahead. Go
Sure.
ahead.
We do have a big grant going in, we're feeling real good about it. Catherine Dufall, who's with the Carroll County Conservation, met with us, been in contact with us. We really hit it off. She's from a hometown near my town in Mass, and she knew my godson and everything, so. If things go good, we're combining with the conservation. It's two different items in this one grant. One is being for the bike trail. How come these bike things keep coming up? And one is for their conservation. We're asking for 50 grand. She seems good about it. She had to go to a training and everything, but I did put in your box, I think I sent it to the selectmen on a support letter. So we got them from police, fire, selectmen, the parents group in the school itself, the hikers. So if all goes well, we'll find out, I guess, in November. And he just brought something up, and to me, you guys probably know about it, but if we do happen to get it, it's 80-20. 20% of it can be volunteers, in which we talk to the designer, and he's got a whole group of kids that work. But the other thing is, we got, like you know, you gotta get 2 bids. We just can't submit that one thing, so we got another guy putting a bid in. But we talked to the designer. He's in Martha's Vineyard doing a project there for the summer. He could actually start it next spring or summer if we do get the grant, so that's good news. Is there a chance you guys can get us a support letter on stationery?
I thought you said you had it.
Not from you guys. I sent it, an email to the selectmen email.
Okay, when did you need it?
By the 17th, yeah, and we put together a sample,
Okay,
a sample, just don't copy word for word, just change it to, you know what I'm saying?
Don't plagiarize.
You're
Don't
like the
plagiarize.
teacher to get mad at us.
Yeah. And that's just a simple one. And like I said, we've got 3 or 4 men already.
Can you send that to me?
Did I
again?
answer all your
I
questions
don't-
on yours?
I
Yeah.
got that.
I'm
Okay.
gonna give you this, because he doesn't.
Okay, good.
We don't need to vote on this, do we?
I think we've already voted, but we can vote again if you'd like.
If
We
we've already
voted
done it.
before,
No, that you're in favor of pursuing.
right.
Yeah, and we've already had a couple grant, we got the one for the electric and stuff like
Right,
that.
we have to vote to accept the grant if we do get it.
Yeah, but this, all we have to do is just sign it. We can do that, you can need by the 17th, so we can do this Thursday when we come in and sign checks.
Yeah,
The other thing Steve brought up this morning, that's a reimbursement.
Or Friday.
And,
reimbursement for what?
well, if you get the 50 grand,
Yep,
the town's gotta put it up and then you get reimbursed.
okay.
So he said, I don't know if it's a warrant or whatever. I says, I'm not really used to it.
We can do that either way. We can do it out of current budget money, if we want to do it in November. If we're not gonna build the thing until the spring, then we'll do a warrant article. And we'd have to do a warrant article to spend the money anyway, even if it was 100%.
Yeah. Oh, good. You told me to come in with a plan for the honorary conductors. I was trying to get money out of that fund we talked about, that we're gonna honor 8 people in front of the concerts. And you come up with this, it's basically $36. It's I don't think adults like plaques anymore, so it's something useful. It's just a clock, and there's only 8 of them, so you're only talking probably less than $300 out of that account. But you told me to come in with something, so.
$300 each, or?
No, for the total of the
And
year.
it's out of, who's sitting on your, is?
Me.
You are? Okay, so you'll get an accounting of their revolving fund.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice little
Yeah.
token of
I
appreciation.
think so, yeah. Yeah, and it's just all people, like I said, we got some,
Yeah, just do it for good people,
well, it's just
just nice people.
nice.
And the money for those is coming out of,
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to get it out of your fund, not
All right,
mine.
you're not gonna do that.
Okay. So we lost our other swim girl, we're just down to one.
God, you know, they're paying $100,000 for lifeguards out in California.
It's unbelievable.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
everybody is shocked.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason is the training. It's so hard to get trained. I mean, we had a girl at UConn from Wolfboro was wanting to get trained, but she'd have to travel here, there. I mean, it was just, there's nothing here. And that's what they gotta start doing to get more lifeguards.
so who do you have?
Huh?
Who do you have now?
I have Hannah, who's been with me since I've been here.
Yeah.
And before I got here, she, like I said, she did 27 last year. We're probably up to about 15 now, but there's a whole bunch on hold. I was waiting to see, and this other girl got a full-time job, so she backed out. So Hannah's gonna get on those people and see where her schedule fits in to try and get them all in, so. Let's see, what else we got?
That's a lot for one person.
Yeah, but she does morning classes, sometimes she'll come in the afternoon, then she even does evening classes, so. She's a college
So
student.
that's your water safety instructor line?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to run through this season, and then let's take a look in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
If money would change that scenario that you're talking about of finding people. I mean,
Right.
she got a full-time job, what does it pay?
Yeah,
Do we need to up that line to $6,000 or?
yeah, I mean, we're paying her $20 an hour now,
Yeah.
so.
So let's,
She's happy with that.
she's currently happy with it, but we only have one.
And the other
We
one,
want somebody else to get happy with it.
the other one thought she wasn't gonna get a job, she apologized. She was really good, she had more credentials, like I told you, than anybody. And,
Yeah.
she says, they called me back, I got a full-time job, so I says, good luck. Anyway, they're not, they're hard to come by. Let's see what else we got. All right, concerts are looking better. The last week, the Meredith Village Savings Bank came in with a grand, R2 came in with 500, so we're up to about 3,500. Last time I talked to you, we were like $2,000, so we're getting there, we're close. If any more come in, I mean, we already ordered the banners honoring our sponsors, and then a couple banners with the group, so.
And who's doing the food?
Right now, we've got a group coming from, believe it or not, Lebanon. It's a family-run,
Lebanese?
gourmet hot dogs. And they
Nice.
got insurance and everything else, so
And what are we charging them?
10%.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the problem is, if they don't think it's worthwhile after week 1,
Yeah,
they're gone. And you know who's doing concession.
yeah, but then you get 100%.
Yeah? Would need help, yeah.
No, then you get 100% of the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's, there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
silver lining.
Yeah, I mean, I did it my first year. I mean, we went crazy with chili and pulled pork and sausages, everything, so,
Yeah, keep it simple.
yeah, simple.
Burgers and dogs and chips.
Yep.
That's all
Yeah,
you need.
and ice cream.
Beer.
I've had that conversation with the chief. You know,
No, nay, with the selectmen.
They have a glass of wine and
It's an ordinance.
Turning it back.
It's on the sign.
Yeah.
Signs.
What else we got? Ponds in the Park, like I said, 25th. We're probably up to about 16 vendors. I was hoping to get more, but that's what we got.
And are we charging our vendors?
Yeah, $50 a head.
Okay, so you still got some more to happen.
Yeah.
So you know you're worrying about your concert series.
That's it.
Pass the hat. When you're
Yeah.
there.
We passed the hat.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about you there, buddy.
But we do have a DJ. We have 3 food trucks. So that should
Is
be a
there
good day.
dancing at this pub?
There's dancing, yeah, dog dancing, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What else we got? So the next commission meeting is next Tuesday, the 21st.
Next Tuesday, not tomorrow.
No, 21st, 6 o'clock. Old Home Days.
Dress as a druid, that's,
I thought we did the second Tuesdays in,
I don't know, we set that meeting, that date at the last meeting.
okay.
That's what it was. Old Home Days is working out. Doing good. There's a lot more groups involved. What else? I think that's it. Canoe insurance.
finally.
Well, it was actually Thursday. I was off Friday. He sent it to me Thursday. And I happened to be golfing on Friday, so I didn't get it.
Oh.
That's all I have, boys. Anything else?
All right. So, do we have a contact for this? No.
Yeah.
Does our office have a contact for him?
There's a what?
Oh, we have Brandy Hallam, is that who you speak with?
No, Pasquale.
Okay. So we need a name, address, and phone number for the person who owns the boats.
Yeah.
Winnipesaukee Outrigger Canoe.
Yeah.
We need it, not you, we need it.
I'll have it.
And he needs to increase, or,
It's Pascal, right?
I don't know who it is.
Right? He owns the boat. Yeah, I talked to him on the phone.
Okay,
He's
we
not
need
a
to be
nice
named as
person.
additional insured.
What?
We need to be named as additional insured, town of Tuftonboro. It's just a rider, it won't cost him anything. But,
I'll call Brandy and tell
Yeah.
her she's the one who wrote this.
all right.
I already talked to Pascal and he's not nice, so I'm not calling him again.
Well, if he's not nice, we won't have his goddamn boats there, how about that? So everybody's gotta be nice. Yeah, except for me.
Yeah, nice.
It says it right behind you.
All right.
We got it here, boys, so we all done.
We're all done, have fun out there on the beach. Wear sunscreen.
I know. That's from golfing, I think. Well, you did something.
Yeah.
That's what boys like.
Something happens.
Yeah,
I don't wear hot in golf, it's just I don't like it.
yeah, yeah. You wear long pants?
I know.
Well, you're supposed to, that's tradition. Jesus. All right. who's
Goodbye.
up next?
Be myself.
Daniel Ween.
How you doing? Hey everyone. I'm just gonna, typically these setups would be one wire, which is called PoE, but because we're working out of outlets that are on a different switch, you're just gonna be plugging some stuff in here. Do you have a power outlet in your pocket? Throw this adapter on for me behind you. Thank you.
So what are we doing here?
We are presenting a true VoIP phone system. So I myself, with Lake Region Computer, have been selling these systems to the Lakes region. I have them in restaurants, lawyer offices, you name it.
Which includes a monthly rental fee into
Not necessarily.
perpetuity, right?
Yeah, not necessarily. I'm gonna let that boot up, and I have some papers that we can look at. Basically, currently what you folks, the reason I'm in here is because we had brought to the attention in the past, maybe about a month or so ago, that we did phone systems. I myself worked for VoIP companies pretty much my whole life, in and out, but back into IT, my roots were VoIP, so now I'm doing this as well as my IT management role with Lakes Region Computer. So I know VoIP systems through and through. True, what this is, it's a phone that uses your internet, and that's how it gets its connection to the outside world. This phone and an app can be brought with you anywhere in the world and work just like it was here, so you could act as though you were at the town from wherever you brought the phone. There's no proprietary cabling or anything like that. It just needs a very small amount of internet. The town and the police department now have plenty of bandwidth to support this system. They wouldn't have about a year ago, before we went through the upgrade procedure over at the police department. They now have the proper bandwidth for this system. Your phone system currently here at the town is what I call a hybrid system. There's copper wiring to the phones that go down to a module in the basement that's been deprecated. Come October, it will be obsolete and there will not be any way to get parts for it unless you get them third party. That system plugs into copper from Consolidated. This system doesn't use any of that. This is the phone system. So each one of these phones talks to a cloud that we program the setup with. Each is an extension, and we put a name on the phone which comes up on the screen, and then we build the call flow based on how the town would like it to work. So you've got your, call in and your menus and all your different options. The difference with the true VoIP system is anything you can dream up can be done. And when I say that, I actually mean like you literally, if you can think of a way that you want something to go about, it can be programmed that way. Good examples of that would be if you had a certain call flow, when you chose an option that reached a department, if that phone didn't answer after, let's say, X rings, you could have it go to another call flow that may ring another set of phones, or may go into another menu, or may go ahead and do a follow and a dial out. So no one knows anyone's cell phone numbers, but you can actually use the system to transfer out. That's my work now, calling into this phone. So that was it. Just a kind of example of bringing this phone here to the office. My life is now stuck with me at this counter if I want it to be.
So you can get the phone to dial Bob's cell phone?
It could. It's not the phone, it's the cloud. So if you called in and this was Bob's extension, and Bob didn't answer after 20 seconds of ring during open hours. Let's say closed hours don't do this, but it's all a conditional statement. So if your open hours are 9 to 5 and that's when you want this to work out, 101 rings for 20 seconds after someone shows your extension, no answer, what do I want it to do? I can have it send you a voicemail to your email, which will leave the message you can play. You could get it in the app on your smartphone by running the Nextiva app, or we could send it out to dial to your cell phone. The call then becomes hot to your cell phone, and the client has no idea it ever left the phone system. So there's no need to ever give out your cell phone number again. No one should ever give out their cell phone number. Now the app, you can have a direct number. My direct number here is 603-696-3863. Now I can have that while I'm on the road, and if you called it, if my app is logged in, I'm now active on that call as if I were at my desk. There's a lot of awesome features that I like about these. One thing I want to show you guys that makes me happy with these phones is this busy lamp field. So these are pages here, and right now you can see that Isaac is on the phone. So I won't disturb Isaac if someone called in for him. If this was not lit and I took a call, and I will do an example of this in a moment, all I'd have to do to send that call to Isaac is push his button. Now the call has left my phone and gone right to him without me doing anything special. I really like that feature, and I like knowing who's using the phones because it gives me an idea who's up to what, and it also gives me an idea if it's safe to transfer or take a call that I might have missed. So this, to me, this monitoring has increased my productivity at least 20% since I've got this system. Because I don't have to go and Teams message and email people and say, hey, are you working? I know they're on my phone. They're maybe on a personal call, I hope not, but the truth is if I transfer it and it turns red, they took the call. If it stays red, they didn't hang up on the person. So what I'd like to do before we get to like billings and questions is to finish the tutorial on the phone. I'm gonna call my direct number from my phone from cell service, and I'm gonna show you that call end up on this phone. So we're gonna do a 696. That's my direct. I'm not gonna call the office. I'll do that as well. So here's the call. It's active. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually transfer this call to one of my technicians. So hello, no, sorry, she may be available. Let me get you over to her. I'm gonna send this over to Matt. Hey Matt, this is Daniel. I just wanted to show a transfer process from my cell phone to my desk phone and back over to you.
Oh, that's really cool. Do you want me to send it somewhere from here?
I'd like you to park that call for me if you mind. Just throw that into a call park.
Sure.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Okay, there it is. So now this phone call is waiting for someone to take it in the park. Another option that you can do, and I'm going to do that here now, is show a dial into my office. So If I call, this is the phone menu that I built.
Thank you for calling
That's me.
Legendary Computer. If you know the extension of the party, you
So
are
I happen to
free
know my
dial it
extension.
at any time. For the Verizon group,
Transferring to
Daniel Lee.
Everyone would record their voice at their phone. There it is. Now the call park is one of my happier features. Puts you on a hold music. Now I have the opportunity to go tell someone there's a call on park. The whole organization has that option. Now I can do that with the police department. I can put their extensions into this and merge them even though they're separate numbers. So if we had something that was supposed to go to the PD, I could park it on one of their parks. I could send it to his extension instantly. Or I could build a separate call flow button here that did a dial out and sent it to their call flow. So like I said, the possibilities with a VoIP system like this are really endless, and it's really designed by the customer and the client, and myself at the same time. So we sit down on a board, say, what do we want it to do? How do we want it to work? And all of that fun stuff.
And who's our phone company?
This is Nextiva.
No, who's our phone company?
Right now,
Yeah,
Consolidated is giving you the copper,
right.
and it's going to a Panasonic system
So
in the
who-
basement.
So who takes Consolidated's place?
So in this case, the plan that we had came up with was to port only 2 phone numbers. Those would be hosted at Nextiva's head at their servers when we took the numbers.
Okay.
Because it's a cloud system, the phone numbers go to their cloud, and then we program the portal for the town. So imagine that there's an email address, you log into the portal. I'd give this a login to anyone that was supposed to be in charge of it. And that's where all the calls are designed. Once you get the numbers into their portal, you then have control of what the numbers do, and that's when we design the call flow based on that. So it takes the phone number away from one company on the copper and moves it to their cloud.
Okay.
And then you own the numbers there. They're your numbers, you own them. The fun part of that is what's called porting. Porting is a process. We luckily get about a 2-month bill skip with these systems. So once this goes through and you guys are like, let's do this, I put in an inherent bill skip. So you pay the first bill, then you'd have 2 months of no bill while we work out all the things to get everything moving and running on the new system. These phones get plugged in ahead of the old system coming out. So everyone will have a brand new VoIP phone that I will wire in at each desk right behind the original phone. There's no risk of losing the calls because when it ports over, these start to ring.
Do we do all our call reports internally?
It would all be based within the cloud. It's logging all of that data.
I want a log of who called where.
Absolutely.
So I get it.
It's all right on that portal on the web.
So we call it down from the
You just log,
cloud.
it's just a web page. So instead of anything that you pull out reports out of the box here, it's just on a web page on the internet. It's your portal. So you folks own that section of that server. So basically, they host, Amazon, Taco Bell, whatever it may be. They have huge companies that live on these servers, and they've proven quality. I have not had a single blip, drop call, or phone issue in the 8 months I've had that on my desk.
And you say we have the bandwidth. I'm sorry, did you finish your question?
I must have finished.
He's looking at call logging.
I'm looking at what are we paying for.
Yeah.
Do international calls cost more money now?
They give you a credit of about $100 to $150 if you eat up that credit they would charge, but other than that, it's unlikely you'd be using a lot of international calls.
So bandwidth, you seem to think that we have enough bandwidth.
I know we do. I do the IT for here with the servers and the networking, and you have more than adequate bandwidth.
What about faxing?
The faxing, what we have decided to do, and I think it's a smart move because we were worried about the clerks having that learning curve of a virtual fax. I don't want to come in here and turn this whole wheel upside down and go digital and cloud and all that. I think we should keep the faxes copper from Consolidated. So that would be only porting 2 phone numbers. Leave everything else alone. You have the town hall's 4539 and the PD's 8695. The only job of porting would be to take those 2 numbers. That will simplify the porting too, and it won't upset Consolidated because Consolidated is very, very, very hard to deal with in terms of taking phone numbers. So the less we take, the more apt they are to give. You don't want to be stuck with consolidated with your numbers forever.
Mhm.
It's a really good idea to get them away from them. I have a lot of issues with consolidated myself, honestly.
I have too. I manage the phone system at the county.
Okay, I just can't tell you enough how they're not a personal touch type of I want to help you company. They just want the money. And this kind of company is like, what do you need? How can we help you? And I've been dealing with them and their support, and it's just you feel like you're with a family. Like I've had a lot of VoIP systems. I've installed a lot of VoIP systems. I've touched probably 20 different ones. This is coming from me as a person, not a sales pitch or a tech pitch. This is the best VoIP I've ever touched.
I'm very skeptical about VoIP only in the fact that we know that communications are linear,
Yes.
and anytime you break up, we can't send it in batches like we do with fax machines or computer data.
Right.
It has to be linear, and we had our first phone system at the up at the county complex was VoIP, and we had nothing but trouble
Okay.
going over spectrum.
Curious how the quality of service was set up, the routers they were using, and the hosted solutions, because this type of system, they maximize the bandwidth.
It wasn't the problem with the phone
Yeah,
system. It was
yeah.
the problem with the bandwidth out on the street.
Yeah.
There just wasn't enough. It bottlenecked, and calls were getting chopped.
That will happen here. I've seen this system run on an AT&T hotspot failover for an entire marina, 20 phones. Didn't even know they were on.
We ended up converting to a couple of T1 lines.
I hear you. There's skepticalness with VoIP in general, but it's not the same as it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. It's becoming commonplace. Most anywhere you go, if it's not VoIP, you'll be surprised. That's my take on it. I have to say this is a smaller setup.
There's a per minute call, per minute charge, right?
No,
No?
just $23.95 per user per month. Done.
Per user per month, and that's a user right there.
That's a
So
user.
we've got 15 users.
That's right. I have 2 different sheets that I've got written up that Kimmy and I worked out for 2 different types of quotes. You have the rental option and you have the buy option. Now the buy option, you buy the phones. They're typically about $200 a piece. I was able to get a 50% discount on the last batch of phones that I bought. Puts this down to $95.
What's the total on that one?
So if you're looking at this quote where it was at full price, they quoted out on the buy on the phones at $28.49. That's 15 phones. So cut that in half. You got $14.25. If I can get that.
$1,425?
If you buy them.
Okay.
If you rent them, you're about $8.40 a month per user. The total that came out to for the rental of the phones was $335. I'm sorry, it's $126. So it's $126 a month for 15 phones if you were to rent these phones.
So why on earth wouldn't we buy them?
I totally agree with you. It's just to give you the option so you can see some places like tax-wise or billing-wise or getting agreement-wise on a purchase. It looks better to a group of people to look at a total price that has that monthly charge with the phones than to eat this at the beginning or kind of, purchase
You gotta
that.
spend more than that on rental.
Absolutely.
In 1 year.
I'm with you. I will never recommend rental unless it's a new startup where they've got, let's say they brought in 40 people to work for them, they don't know where their future lies, then they should rent the phones.
So if we buy them, how do we keep up with the technology changes?
I would tell you with a VoIP phone, you're a good 7 years. You can go out and just buy replacements as you feel needed, but these phones would stay working with their system. There's no time.
Are there software upgrades that we're gonna have to pay for?
Just pay them monthly. There's no hidden fees or anything weird like that. This is it right here. But I wanna say I can talk to my rep and get us that 50% discount on the phones if it helps to get the deal to go through. They're very active on that type of thing. The last batches that I've sold, they did that for me. So where it would have been 200, it'd be 100 a phone roughly. So that would be
we're
the
still
first.
gonna have a $365 a month
That's correct.
charge.
Regardless, you have 15 users at $23 a month. There's no way around that for a VoIP system. That's correct. Yeah, that is.
And then
absolutely-
Net Cloud Communications is a monthly of $335.
So what you're paying for is $23.95 times 15. And that's to have 15 people exist on their cloud. So this right here, for me to exist as an entity as Daniel Wiener 101 is $23.95 per month. That's the only fee you'll see.
Well, 358 plus 5 is 364. So this is telling me that we're gonna pay $364 a month.
That's correct.
335 of it is Nextcloud Communications Professional additional user.
There's one user they broke out of there, it's just the way they do the bill, so it's 14 and 1 is the 15, it's just how they write it. But you are correct. It's funky how they do that. So you're looking at the.
So they include one user in their package and then everything.
It's just how they write.
About
Yeah, you can look at
what
this is the rent version, but you can look at that. They do the first one as the 23 and then they package the rest. It's the same breakdown. Whenever they do a system, they code it as the total minus 1 and then put it as a separate line. I don't know why, but it's the same outcome. So that number, that final number is the total per month if you bought the phones on that sheet you had.
311. Okay, so the first line, the 2395 is the primary user, the one user.
That's correct.
And then the third line, the additional users are 14 of them.
14, exactly. So it's a total of 15 users. Just if you add those numbers, that's your total.
15 phone systems. So you actually own the phone, you don't own the service.
That's right. And you own the phone, and I would say there's a 99% chance it's at half price. So if you were to buy them outright, you pay $95 per phone to own the phone, and then you're $23.95 per user to have the phone. With that, you get the application to use. You get free texting with the app as well, so you can text through it instead of using your cell phone number, which is really good. It gets you away from people having your cell phone to text and things like that, which has been helpful. The app is redundancy, so if you ever lost internet or connections here, the application will let you function the full phone system as it would if you were on this phone. And I could show you that if you folks were interested to see the app. I do have it on my phone.
Okay, so if the hard line goes down,
That's
you
right.
can still use your cell phone.
That's right, but not your cell phone number. You are using the app.
Right.
Yeah. So the calls will still come in if Cammy's phone burnt out or the coax got cut or something came down the tree. As long as the cell service was still getting to the phone, it looks like there are a couple bars here. I can do a test off the
I
Wi-Fi.
have more.
I heard. I don't want to take up too much time, or would you like me to log into the app and show you it function to? No.
I'm familiar with it, I have a similar.
Okay.
I
I
have a
don't even
similar.
run a cell phone.
That's fine. I ask always so I don't overburden anything
And did the chief want to weigh in here at all?
I mean, I see an advantage of having one vendor for both, but I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of the OIP and the different systems. I don't know what the other system presented was, so. We do need to have, I think, 3 lines, 2 fax and 1 for the alarm.
Those will stay as copper, that's
Yeah.
correct, regardless of what you
Yeah.
switch to.
So we should establish it, because we haven't put this out on the street yet, we're just calling people and asking.
That's why I'm here, there's
So
no pressure,
we need to
obviously.
figure out what those 3 lines are gonna cost
Yeah.
going forward. And then we'll look at the information that we've gotten.
About $50 a month each.
Yeah, you're pretty close there.
We hope that's what it is, but we don't know how Consolidated's gonna treat us.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't know if they'll, but if you can, just for figure about $50 a month each.
Yeah, you're taking
We
2
got
away.
$50. So.
Yeah. Because you want
What's
to
our
take it.
current phone bill?
3 away, aren't we?
As I looked at it, I was only porting 2 numbers.
Well, yeah, porting 2, but we're taking a third away.
Oh, yeah, because you didn't need it. There's an extra that's on there because of
we
no
won't need it.
reason but a failover that wouldn't be needed. These don't take up lines like a copper does, so it keeps working when you.
So we cut our lines in half essentially, but
Nice.
Let's go back to bandwidth.
Yes, sir.
It's good enough for maybe 1 or 2 phone calls at the same time, but what if we've got 10 people in here talking on those lines?
Scott on the Wi-Fi and get an upload test, so we like to have about a half a meg roughly per phone. That would be more than adequate for a VoIP call. Concurrent calls with the bandwidth that's here, I'd be really surprised if you had an issue. I'm just hopping onto the police department's Wi-Fi from over here just as a rough test. This is a far away speed test. I just want to see a rough download and upload. See, the thing that I've learned with this host provider is they've got I would want to say they're maximized like their performance and their usage of the audio channels. They're very, very efficient. So where I've seen other calls garble, I know exactly what I'm talking about because I've worked with all the other different vendors and issues, and I had it going on with the phone system we had before this. which was First Light. After switching from First Light to VoIP to this, I haven't had a single little blip of anything for call quality. Do I imagine you'd have 10 concurrent calls going on at the same time? Probably unlikely. Would it work? Yes. I wish I could prove that to you and bring 10 phones in and do that with you right now, but I obviously only have the one. But I would not be sitting here if I thought you were going to have a bandwidth issue. The good news is you have high-speed internet coming into the building. You're not on a T1, you're not on a DSL. You have true coax internet coming into here. And I've seen, like I said, I've seen it work on a terrible hotspot on a whole business. So I've watched the worst case scenarios and they were all functioning just fine. No one even knew it switched. Yeah, I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi in here. Just if someone wanted to share, I just don't have it in front of me right now, the town hall's Wi-Fi password, I could give you a better test. We could just have you do, if you're connected to the town hall, the AP's right behind us here.
I am.
No, it's possible our firewall will block that test if that doesn't work. I'll have to Google.
Yes, block them sometimes.
Yeah, I'll send you the Google's speed test as well. Now, mind you, this is on a Generation 1 access point, which has a throttle on it too. Yeah, I'm just gonna
Go.
Okay. Google. So off the Wi-Fi, you're almost 100. I can almost guarantee you about 100 download on the wired network. So if you do the breakdown on that for 10 phones, 32 megs download right there for each phone. And then you're about 6 to 7 here, so I'd imagine about 10 to 15 on a wired connection. So the upload is slower than the download, which it typically is with this cable internet like that, but there still looks to be enough bandwidth here. That's my experience with what's here with the networking and the firewall that we've recently installed here. We have
But these aren't working off of on Wi-Fi. These are
no, they're hardwired. That's right. So they get the ideal connection. Then they would actually PoE connect, so this wire would go away.
Mm-hmm.
We don't typically use a power wire separately. I'm just obviously here for a meeting. But the Fortinet firewall you have, before I came, had my system engineer programmed to allow these phones to work. Because when you go on a firewall, it's blocking the connections to their cloud provider. So this is already up and tested to prove the theory that this phone works in this building with that firewall. I can't say more except for to trust me on that and putting the system in that you wouldn't have a bandwidth issue. But unless you had a real world test of all 10 people on the call, I couldn't show you that.
As I just said, we haven't made a decision on this yet, but we're gonna have to at some point in time. Make any decision conditional.
Yeah, no, I know it doesn't have to be today. That's all information gathering.
I'll tell you what, if it came down to it and you were getting to a point of making a decision, I'll come over here with enough phones to do a bunch of phone calls. I'll set them up on a switch right here and we'll just go to town. We'll just call a bunch of people. Because I already could live by this system and tell you.
That's how they do it.
Yeah.
Those guys that call in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's a bunch of.
This is right up.
We could do that. We could do a quick mock-up that way with a bunch of phones and have them all going and see what the uploads and downloads look like on the phones. But the good news is there is high speed here. I've seen it work on lesser. I've seen it work on DSL. I've seen it work on hotspot. So believe it or not, it really does. It rides on a very, very small channel. If I were to log into the firewall, make a call and show you, you're gonna kill bytes. Not in the mix.
So either way, what we're spending on our phone service now, currently, this isn't going to be any more than what we're currently spending.
I think it is.
You haven't seen our phone bill.
I don't know. I didn't know you folks were paying a fee to a provider aside from Consolidated. Okay, that is news. I thought you owned that system down there and it was just the cost of Consolidated. So they're still charging a fee to utilize the Panasonic system. Interesting.
We have charge for phone lines. You'd have to analyze our phone
Yeah,
bill.
I'd like to see that, but it's like comparing really, really old oranges to a brand new, fresh, shiny apple. Only because I try to stay very far away from boxed systems like that with PBXs for many good reasons. It's a lot to maintain down in that server rack. If that goes down, you lose everything. If this doesn't go down. They're 99.99999% uptime.
There's no PBX involved with
No.
this.
Nope, just talking to their servers that are hosting some of the most important companies in the world. Think about it, they can't drop a call to Amazon. They'd ruin them, and they ruin their reputation. So when you're hopping on a company like this that has hosts of high importance, you feel important. That's why I've never seen it go down. I've had ours go down before we switched. That's why we switched. First Light, which is great service, we have their fiber optics still, but their phone system just randomly stopped working one day. It was maybe once within the time we had it, but it's scary. And I wasn't logged in with everyone with an app for backup, so we were prepared. We had no business for that time frame, and we're waiting when's it's going to come back. So I haven't heard that happening with this. And then with the app, I mean, you've got that backup too, which is nice. Not to mention the option to actually having the two internets here is actually helpful, because if you lost one, but it wasn't because of something at the street, let's for instance say an account went debunked, or their motor fried, or their firewall fried, within, I want to say 20 seconds, you can have that phone working again.
So are the numbers you came up with here for your proposal, 23 phones, is it 14 phones?
No, it's 15 phones.
And that's for here, the fire department, the police department, and the transfer station?
I was under the impression it was just this building.
Just this building.
Okay.
I didn't pitch that way. It was kind of a conversation that I think we were going to try to set up here and see how everything flows, and then add on as we go.
So it's this building, including the police?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so currently we're spending,
And I do want to, while you're looking, I just want to give you the notion that there is
I
some,
think it's about $500 a month.
there's some current issues going on with the two
I can
systems.
get it from Kathy.
My understanding is that the police department is having issues where transfers
so
are
we're
happening.
spending $10,800 a year. This $335 is $4,020.
Well,
So
I'm happy to hear their
it's gonna
savings.
be less money, even though I hadn't added for the fax machine. But that's the budget we're currently working at, is $10,000 for phone.
Well,
As long as it comes in under less than what we're currently spending, I don't see any reason why we couldn't act this year.
is that this building, the 10,000?
Yeah,
Well,
that's financial administration and police.
But police telephone also includes our cell phones.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dissect.
No, but I'm
this.
saying if you just take our total phone bill, I don't know if you're taking what we pay to
Yeah, I'm just
consolidate.
taking the budget number.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, but we'll get more granular as we go forward.
just know two things. I'm gonna stay very communicative with the current spiffs and things that are going on next to us so that I can give you folks that best deal. They like to change it all. They're about to go into a new quarter into July.
Yeah.
Secondly, I want you to be very, very, very confident that we'll get you those phones at half price if you buy them. I want to do that for you folks because it's an amazing deal. I mean, this is not a $95 phone by any stretch of the imagination. It's an extremely high quality TFT dual screen phone that will last you a very long time. This is like, I wouldn't want anything else. Like I said, I'm an IT manager. I work with VoIP, I work with IT all day. This is the phone I want on my desk. That's it. So I'll end it with that, and if you have any other questions, I'm happy to try to answer them.
Yeah, no, I think we know how to get in touch with you.
Okay.
We're gonna make some kind of a decision going forward here.
I appreciate the opportunity and all of your time. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend as well.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks.
You're coming. It's gonna be a nice temperature today, it looks like. It was a little rainy yesterday.
Okay, next item for business is items for signature.
Oh, thanks.
Can I take a 2-minute recess?
Sure.
Go talk to
5
somebody.
minutes if you want.
No, just need to.
This is friendly government here.
Plug back in.
Thank you.
did see your email about the updates. We can definitely help you with that.
Yeah, I got an email, I talked to somebody about it, just about the time you were coming in.
Awesome. Yeah, no problem. Very likely something we can do remotely.
Did you have something for us today, Chief?
Well, I had the bids for the upfitting the cruisers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I
Danny.
Thanks.
mentioned it
care.
last week, you said to bring it in this week.
And they within the budget that we've got on the warrant article?
Yeah, but it's over 10,000, so I had to get 3 bids. So,
What happened to the other cruiser?
it's getting the stuff taken out of it.
Oh,
When do you want to award this bid?
Huh?
You want to award this bid today? As soon as you can?
I want to go with pick a vendor today, yes.
All right.
There may be some changes that need to do as we
You
go
got
forward.
5 precious minutes to present your program.
So, because of our purchasing policy, I have to get 3 prices for upfitting our vehicles. I got it from Nevo, who have used the last few, Ospey Mountain in Moultonborough, and Adamson Industries in Haverhill, Mass. The lowest price was Nevo at $16,600. The next was Ospey Mountain, but they used a different light bar, so that turned out to be a little surprising. That's probably about it probably puts it close to the Adamson Industry. Adamson was the highest, but they included a couple other things that aren't in the others, like that we can put in ourselves if we decide to go this route. Floor mats. It has carpeted floor in there, so they were putting the WeatherTech mats and included that. So they end up being separate thing, total. So as it stands, Nevo is the lowest, and
Where is Nevo from?
Newington. They're the ones that's done our last couple. So,
No, there's something.
bug.
An attack bug. It's heading your way. It's protecting you.
So, what it involves is, so none of this, or the other problem with Ospey Mountains, they won't do our graphics. So the other 2 included installing graphics. The other, they didn't, so I'd have to go to a body shop to get the graphics installed on top of their bid. So theirs and Adams are probably pretty close to the same, and Nevo was about $1,000 less.
And are they missing anything, Nevo?
From this one, they don't have the floor mats.
RFP.
They don't have the floor mats, and they don't have the, I think they put a couple extra side lights in versus what they did here.
Why are we getting a new light bar?
Because the other one's like 20 years old. It's been rebuilt a few times already. And this has the controller that allows it to be, so that when we put it in park, it will go to glow blue, as opposed to the others which stay strobing. It's safer for oncoming cars, so they don't get blinded. So what the county, I believe, has gone to, and what most everybody else has gone to, is something like that. You put it in park, it'll switch over the pattern to a glow with just one blinking light. That's what we've got in the 20 Cruiser.
So,
20 Cruiser.
so when you asked them to bid on this, you must have given them an RFP of some
I gave them, what I gave them was what we did in the 2020 and said, match that. So that's where it's at. What they don't, the big question that comes up is, and it goes to another issue, is are we staying with 4 or 5 cars? Right now, all of these are involving, don't have a price. The stuff I normally have to buy separate. If we're going like a radar, computer, and video systems, we buy separately. So what we've got is, all of these are installing our own provided computer, radar, and video. And the radio. The radio is a separate item too. With the problem I'm having is getting this stuff if it has chips. I mean, our radio we ordered in January still isn't here. God only knows when it will get here. And the radio that we have is like I say, it's 20 years old and some of the bars don't show up anymore.
So these companies don't provide radios?
They do.
I mean, I'm confused why we wouldn't just have a fully equipped cruiser delivered. You know, all done.
Yeah.
No more fooling around out back with screwdrivers.
No, no, they install the radio. We bring the radio down. The last cruiser,
Okay.
I brought boxes of stuff down, the computer, the this, the that, and then they did one install because it's cheaper because once you take the headliner down once, not taking it down for this and then putting it all back up and then taking it down again.
So you're not taking the radios from one vehicle to the other because they're too old?
And they're way out of date, yeah.
Are they still usable, serviceable?
They can't get parts and the bars are missing on the screen.
So if you're talking about keeping a fifth vehicle, does that mean that we're gonna have to equip 2 vehicles because one of them, the radios aren't any good anymore?
So in the budget, I put in for 2 radios. One of them will be carried over from last year. We encumbered the funds and we ordered it, and that's waiting. I have not ordered the second radio because I wasn't sure where we were going with the cars.
Right.
I can get, now the radio in the truck is okay. It's not great, it's okay. I don't know if I can get parts for it either, but at least it all shows up on the screen. So the option is this, we could take the video and the radio if we go to 4 cars, take the video and the radio out of the truck and put it in temporarily until our new radio comes in. Unless our new radio comes in, it's gonna take several months to get some of this stuff anyways. Maybe our radio will come in by then. If not, we take the video and the radio out of the truck and the radar out of the truck and transfer it over. That's how. And then, I know some places will have a vehicle that you just use for like details, it doesn't have that stuff in it. That's another option too. One, keep a fully equipped 5, or go to 4, or have 5, but only 4 of them really patrol. One is just, you need a vehicle to do a detail. It has lights, it has a radio. Do that. That's probably the third option.
Does everybody take the vehicle home?
Yes, because we're on call at night.
Everybody?
Yep. Well, I'm not taking call as much as the others, but every once in a while I do.
Understood.
The others all take call at night, and then that's where it's nice to have the 5th vehicle, because like we got one in the shop. We had to tell them we need it by we need it so somebody has
All right,
it.
we're not gonna make that decision today because there's only 2 of us here.
Right.
Let's make a decision about the equipment. Do you want to go with Nevo, the lowest bid? Mr. Murray?
I don't always support the lowest bid just because it's the lowest bid. However, if we're gonna not go with the lowest bid, it just needs to be justified. So, what's your recommendation?
Nevo, they've done our last 2 vehicles. They do a great job. And yeah, they're in Newington, but they'll come up here and sometimes do stuff. They come up and certify our radars. They have been, and I've never used Adamson. They're in Haverhill, used to be in Lawrence, they're in Haverhill, Mass. There is a couple other upfitters that, if I were to, here's one of the, these 2, I would go with Nevo, put it that way. I'll leave it that way. For some reason, they put a different bar in here and they put a different console in here.
Yeah, I'm okay with the bar and console because maybe they got a better idea than you do, but the fact that they don't
Not on
do
the console.
don't do the graphics.
That's another fee that I'm gonna have to do
Well,
something.
and we just need a cruiser done. We don't need to be driving all over America to piece it together. Anyway, I'm gonna make a motion, we recommend that she go with Nevo.
A second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, get it done.
Thank you.
All right, items for signature. We have a veterans exemption on property taxes,
So moved.
which with all recommendations. I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. for Merrimack County Telephone.
Merrimack County Telephone is part of TDS, is it not?
Right of way shall be. Okay, they're looking for a right of way at 240 Middle Road, which is here. But where is it that they're building a right of way? So it's granting to New Hampshire Electric Cooperative and Merrimack County Telephone, TDS Telecom. Are they the ones doing the cell towers?
Yes.
So that's what we're doing? Okay, so these are rights of way into the cell tower locations?
That's how I understand it, according to Kathy.
Yeah.
Sure. I think we need a little more explanation. I've got a administrative abatement for $16.80 to E.R. Evans Forestry for an overpayment of unexempt cordwood.
So moved.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And we've got Primex contribution system that they set up for our employees for workers' compensation. Again. So we're looking for Primex is looking for a 3-year agreement on our workers' comp coverage, and then giving them a 3-year agreement which would expire in 2025. They're offering us a 10% annual cap on cost increases for workers' comp. And no, I have 2 of them. I guess one's for us.
No, one is workers' comp and one is,
Oh, property and liability.
yeah.
So Primex is looking for a 3-year commitment. They're looking at 9% maximum increases on the property and liability and a 10% cap.
I'd be in favor of multiple year agreements, knowing what we're going to be paying.
Yeah, I would too, but I think in this case as well, this is the first time I've seen it. I think it needs to be read. When do they need these back?
Kathy gave them to me for you guys to sign today.
Yeah.
No, meaning I would support signing those today. They're gonna take what we're paying this year, and then the next 3 years, they're telling the maximum that they're gonna increase the fees by.
Right, we are not contracted with them past December 31st, 2022. So this would commit us to being with them from January 1st, 2023 to January 1st, 2025. So we're making a 3-year commitment to buy insurance from them.
I have no problem with that.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I would move that we sign the 3-year agreements with Primex.
Okay, I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So it appears as though it only needs one signature. So I'm gonna sign as the selectman chairman.
here. I think we only need to know, I think we only need to know what the, if we need to confirm what these, the book and page numbers are. They list the properties separately.
So you're saying that there are two different pieces of property?
They are two separate pieces of property, yes.
Okay. And they should be?
Yep.
Because we got one at the fire station and one up at the town garage.
I mean, I can only assume that these book and page numbers are those, but I don't know if you want to see it with your own eyes.
Yeah, I mean,
He's right here.
I'm not a real fan of signing something I don't know all the information about.
Okay.
You feel confident that that's the deal?
I would like either our tax collector or somebody in the front office that's familiar with looking these up to verify that those are correct.
Well, I can pull up the last ones. The last contract.
We shouldn't have a
Or
contract.
right away.
I think you have to pull the tax sheet for those properties. Okay.
Why do we have to give them a right of way? Because it's on our property, right? It's on the town's property. So are those both pieces of town property?
I think so.
The pieces that are noted? It's,
Because they have to run power up there. There's a,
right.
you're either going to do it via pole or ditch. And they need the right of way to run electricity up there. I have no problem signing this. I just, like you said, it'd be nice to verify that these book and page numbers are correct with the properties.
Well, I'll make a motion that we sign, subject to that information.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we'll have Kathy review these, or the tax collector for that matter, doesn't matter. We've got, in our action items, we've got information from HEB about the grant, state hazardous mitigation grant money that we've been applying for. And a letter from Tim Galvin. I don't know Tim Galvin, but wants us to have a more extensive look at, I don't know what the acronym WEDCO stands for.
Isn't that economic development?
Yeah, I got that part. What's
It's
it delayed?
Wolfboro or
With the Pizzacchi.
no, it's in Wolfboro. Whiteco's out of Wolfboro, I think.
Well, we're not interested in Wolfboro's economic development. We're only interested in Tuftonboro's. That's what we're elected for.
Originally, he was just asking, do we have a board or committee that works with economic development, business development, job, workforce related issues? And who would that be?
I don't believe we do.
No, we don't. I mean, we're a town of a couple thousand people. So economic development comes via the planning board and applications to the planning board for certain land uses or building uses. We don't have anything in our budget that is put there for the purpose of economic development per se.
I mean, I think Gary Qua already responded to that.
To that email?
I believe he did.
He's welcome to come in. We'd love to meet him. In correspondence, we've got a,
Check with Sue.
letter of the, from the Governor's Council, and we've got the library report. And Selectmen's update, anything?
Negative.
Okay. I did something, but I can't remember what it was. Came in here for some reason. All right, any other business to come before the board? Any public comment?
I've heard of a couple complaints about speeders on Union Wharf Road.
So that's one thing I had, is I got a grant for 2,300 for speed enforcement. This paperwork I just gave to Kathy, I have something I'll turn in, but I wanted to, I just got that last
Yeah.
week.
There's places people speed, Ledge Hill Road's a place to speed.
So the places I highlighted were Ledge Hill, Union Wharf, Durgan, Mountain in the area there,
Yeah,
109A, and 109 in a few sections.
yeah, let's slow them down around the street.
So the way that works with the grant, and that's why I sent a couple emails. One was that we have to do like special outside our normal hours, extra. It's through the Department of Highway Safety.
So it's above and beyond the speed
Yeah.
enforcement you already do.
Yeah, yes. So it's extra hours. It's done at overtime rate. It was at $1,600, and I figured that out, and I said that's at most 40 hours of. That's not going to probably make a whole lot of impact. So I got 2,300.
Better than nothing.
Then so I got a little more. I mean, I could have asked for more, but I also don't necessarily know that I have enough people to spend it either. So.
Well, let's do the best we can. We need to slow the traffic down. It's gonna get worse.
So I gave a form to Kathy to fill out for the financial, that whether or not we have over a certain amount of federal grants, then we have to give a copy of our audit to, or say that there's an audit available. And then the other thing is, if I'm gonna do them, I need to have a form signed by the selectmen. So. That's,
Form?
huh?
What, a form for what purpose?
For me to be able to do them, it's a form saying that you approved me doing some of these details.
Why would we need to approve you doing details?
Because I'm salaried.
It's not a detail though. Is it grant money or is it
It's okay. They call it a detail for speed enforcement, but
Yeah, but
they
we're not
pay-
gonna create a detail for speed enforcement.
No, it's paying overtime. It's an
Right.
overtime thing, but I don't get
It's
overtime typically.
It's
So
reimbursing us for overtime work.
right,
That's what's happening, okay.
but I don't typically get overtime. So in order for me to do them, I'd have to qualify for reimbursement.
We have 3 other officers.
Yep.
I mean, why would you do them? You only have 40 hours.
Huh?
Why would you do them? You only have 40
We
hours.
have more than 40. Well, yeah, anyway. Yeah, well, I do them, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we can have a discussion later. That's a,
I don't know, I don't know how many people will sign up for them either.
yeah, I don't either. I mean, I'm not
There's an
running a police
expectation of certain number of stops an hour. So some people may not.
Right.
You
I'm
mean
just,
there's a quota to be met? Is that
Not a
what you're saying?
quota. They're very careful not to say quota, but they'd like to see.
Sure sounds like it.
They want to make sure that people aren't just getting paid for doing nothing. You know what I'm saying?
well, yeah.
So they have an expectation that
We
you're
all
gonna
have
stop
that
some cars.
expectation.
They're not putting a quota, but they would like to see, and they want to see I have to report quarterly the activity that we turn in. And it doesn't have to be a quota. That's why I didn't do them in the past. They used to really push X number. You know,
Okay, put together a police policy that you operate, management policy that you operate, which addresses the distribution of these extra hours.
Okay.
Okay? Because it is absolutely poor management for you or any other one individual to skim off these overtime hours.
No,
I need a
someone is
policy.
advocating, but anyway.
I'm sure it wasn't. But I think for public information, we just need to know what your policy
Well,
is.
the letter says, it actually has to be your policy. The letter says it's your policy to allow me to do them,
It will be
provided
it will be our
they're
policy.
offered to everybody else first.
Right, it'll be our policy to allow you to do them as soon as you tell us what your policy is.
Based
But-
on your recommendation, I guess, is,
Yeah.
But what it says is I can't take them first. If nobody else takes them, then I can sign up for them, is what it says.
Well, I haven't read it, so you're just telling me that's what it
Well,
says.
I'll leave you a copy of the letter so you can have a chance to
Because I don't have
digest
a
it.
problem with that. I just have a problem, I'm not saying you do it or have ever done it, I just.
Just so you have a chance to look at it for our meeting on the 27th, put it that way.
Okay, and we'll vote on the 27th,
Yeah, you can do that on the 27th.
and you're all set with money on the 27th?
Well, because it doesn't start till July anyways, and I really didn't want to start it till like school and people, summertime things aren't as structured as far as time as when people are going. I gotta try to target the times that more. So I was gonna try and hit mornings like 6 to 9, they want like a 3-hour block, and then afternoons.
Well, you're gonna pick up a little bit of time because you're not having to sit somebody at the school every morning for drop off.
Right.
So you've got a few more hours a week there. All right, I'm gonna make a motion that we end this,
did Joe have something to say?
no, he didn't, did he? I
Joe
gave him
has
his chance.
Nothing to
Stop.
say.
I'm gonna make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.